All right, everybody. The playoffs are set. So this is a little weird. The way the playoffs work is they are 2 weeks for each game. So it'll total the scores. And I think they did this last season. This is for everybody. So, for example, I'm playing Show Me the Money in the loser bracket, and we're going to play for 2 weeks also. And you get the total of the 2 week score. And then the winner of the first 2 weeks will go against the the two winners between Tortuga and Brodigan and Ridgeback and Carolina Good Old Boys. They will face the winners of each of those teams, and the losers will face each other in the consolation bracket. So but it's 2 weeks, so you have 2 weeks for each game, if that makes sense. So just a weird kind of loophole, not loophole, weird kind of way that they do things. So anyway, I decided to do something fun. I put together some awards. I got roughly half of us with awards. Actually, a little bit more. I couldn't get everybody. One lucky person got 2 awards for the year. But let me go through the awards for the regular season. The first award will be the LL Cool J Don't Call It a Comeback Award by Heidi. Heidi was in and out and in and out, but ended the season on an 8 game winning streak to take the last position in get the fourth spot and edging me out and for that matter, everybody else for that, but particularly me because I was the person with the same record who did not. I'm sorry, no, me and Show Me the Money was the other one, the same record who did not get the. No, Show Me the Money on the worst record. Sorry, I was the only other 9-5 team that did not get in. So Heidi gets the award for that. Really excellent comeback with an 8 game streak. The only person with a better winning streak to end the season was Tommy with his 9 game winning streak. So again, Heidi gets the first award. The second award is the Queen of Spades award, which goes to Greg Hitchcock. He got screwed a couple times. I'm sure you saw it through the messaging back and on for people who are on the text string. But again, I do let ESPN set the rules, and I follow the rules that I'm given. So Greg, as many of us, were surprised that he was left out in the cold because he was not one of the top two. He was one of the top 2 seeds in his bracket, but wasn't one of the top 4 seeds overall when it came to actual record. So if I'm looking at this right, and I tried to get an answer through ESPN and I did not get anything, but it does look like the way it works is the winner of each division gets a seat. So if you're the absolute winner, like Carolina Good Old Boys, Lance was, you get a seat at the table. And if you are anybody else, it's an open field. So that's how you get 3-on-1 and one on the other. The other odd thing about that, if you were paying attention, is the East Division looked by far weaker than the West until very late in the season when the East really started tearing on. So again, going into next year, if we want to change the rules, let me know and see if you can figure it out yourself. I couldn't find out what the rules were. I still can't. There's a thing that says rules. If you click it, you go to some Disney website. So anyway, so I won't spend too much more time on that. But he gets it for that. He also gets it. Besides that, really all he had to do was win too. Speaking of your fate being in your own hands, he ended up losing the last 5 games in a row. So besides getting hosed on the rule, he also kind of hosed himself by not being able to get the ball across the goal line at the end. So the Queen of Spades award goes to Greg Hitchcock. The next one is the Steve Bartman Award, or the Cubs Award. If you remember that season, they were ahead. Hold on, I got a note down here. They were ahead 3-2 in the playoffs, and that was when Bartman caught the ball, and they were still up, I think, 3-0 in that game, and they ended up losing that game 8-3, and then losing the next game and getting kicked out of the playoffs. And that led to Chicago winning Chicago losing the series, and the Marlins were the team that scored the 8. So that's for coming up short. I'll give myself that award. I was in it, and then lost. I basically needed to win every single game, and then lost a nail biter last week. Won this game, and again, still lucky me. I was the only person with the same record as the winners that was left outside. So I was the only 9-5 team not to make the playoffs. So I get the Steve Bartman Cubs Award. The next award is the hard work might pay off in the long run, but laziness pays off right now award. And that goes to Kristen. Kristen had one move in her team for the whole season. So that she made one move either through, I don't think there's any trades in the league. So picking somebody up the waiver wire. She only had one the entire season. Still had a pretty decent season in the middle of the pack. But I thought that was a good award. The Johnny Manziel Award, I'm sure Tommy will appreciate that, for talent that goes unrewarded, would go to Val. Early on, I'm looking at her team. She ended up 11th out of 14 teams, and she just was stacked. Now, she also got snake bit early on, but imagine that she had Christian McCaffrey also. So her lineup without McCaffrey was Mahomes at quarterback. She had a couple better running backs. She had Singletary at running back, who didn't do much, but she had Brandon Cooks, Jerry Jeudy, Harrison, Dowdle, Terry McLaurin for the Commanders, Zay Flowers, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So, I mean, she was just stacked. Jake Elliott at kicker, 49ers defense. I mean, absolutely stacked from top to bottom, and could not do much with that team. Again, shows how sometimes the ball bounces, but unfortunately, futile effort. The Tokyo Drift Award for spinning wheels, which is the opposite of the Kristen Award, would be my good friend Rich. Rich, where Kristen had one move, Rich had 33 moves and still ended up in last place. So ending the season in a 7-game slide, which was the worst losing slide to end the season. So lost 7 in a row even with 33 moves. Now Rich, on the other hand, he had nothing really to speak of talent-wise on his team. Wilson at quarterback, Pacheco at running back. Tyrone Tracy, St. Brown wide receiver. I guess that's fine. Higgins. Just no one really as a standout. So he sort of deserved his 3-11 record, probably through a poor draft more than anything else. Then the next award is the Ricky Williams Award, which, if you remember, he's the famous pro football player who kind of kept on failing his drug test for marijuana, in fact, when that mattered in the league, and finally quit early. Sort of kind of had enough and was done. And that will go to Nice TDs, who I think for the last 2 games or 1 game didn't have a full lineup and just sort of looked to be sort of checking it at the end. I think this week he does have a full lineup, so he must be playing somewhere. And you know what? I think maybe the bye weeks are gone. Is what's happening. I think he might have had 2 weeks in a row. He stopped putting the full lineup. And like I said, one player got 2 awards. That would be my buddy Rich. He gets the least valuable player award with his record of 3-11. Nice TDs was above him at 4-10, but Rich takes the crown. And of course, the MVP would be Tommy Brodigan with the only 11-3 record, the inverse. So those are the awards. As for the games next week, looks like they set their teams already. Heidi and Tommy, and looks like there's less than a 5-point differential in projected points in that game. Ridgeback, who started to look terrifying towards the end of the season, he is favored above Lance by 10 points. So we'll see. Sometimes that doesn't matter, but those are what the projections look like. And the rest of us, it doesn't matter, so I won't really go into those too much. But anyway, I'll continue to do updates. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a mid update. I might for the halftime of the games next week, but we'll see. It might be busy with the holidays. But I've had fun. I hope you all had fun. I hope you all agree with how I handle the rules with ESPN. I don't know what else to do. I don't want to make a judgment call because someone gets screwed on that. So that's why I always bow to authority and whatever ESPN says. I don't think we have it personally out for anybody. That's where we are. And again, hope you have a happy holidays, and I'll try better. Take care. See ya.